What's going on there, folks? Good afternoon. The Earthmaster here on the live stream with an update video on this Friday, February 11th, 2022 date, about 1:42 p.m. California time. Latest quake, a 2.8 earthquake on the Earthquake 3D globe in the Alaska region, it looks like. Let's go ahead and check out. Actually, I want to show you guys real quick on the live seismographs. You can see that little spike there just scrolling up. A couple spikes also shown up there on the Southern California station. Some earthquake activity ramping up there overnight and this morning. This station is called Barrett. It's a seismograph right around the just to the east, northeast of San Diego. But I wanted to show you guys here on the Mendocino station seismograph that the earthquake activity is still continuing there, but no sign of it on any of the USGS maps. You can see that distinct earthquake right there. It's been like that. Occasionally we see these spikes pop up, and here and there, every couple hours or every half hour or so, some earthquake activity occurs there in the Northern California region, right around Mendocino area. So that seismograph showing activity, but we'll take you over here to the latest USGS map, and no surprise, no earthquake activity to report in this region at all, even on the all magnitudes map here. Even over the last 24 hours, no earthquake activity has been added to the earthquake map here at all. And I know for a fact there was earthquake activity up here last night. Quite a few spikes on the local seismograph stations throughout the region not being reported here on the USGS map or the EMSC. So not for sure what's going on. It is what it is. A place where they are showing activity, though, surprisingly, down in Southern California. Still seeing quite a bit of movement along the San Jacinto fault area. And also a little earthquake here within the last hour. 1.1 near the San Marcos, California area. Pretty shallow earthquake in that region of the state. Some continued movement up here northwest of Los Angeles along the San Cayetano fault system. That's this fault system here. It's a thrust fault. Kind of runs west-eastward migration, I guess, and movement. I think I pronounced that correctly. San Cayetano. San Cayetano. I think that's right. Okay. I don't believe I got corrected last night when I mentioned that. Anyway, earthquake activity continuing here in the 2 range, it looks like, following a 3.9. But still watching this area pretty closely. This fault system here, very capable of producing a somewhat sizable earthquake, roughly between 6.5 and 7.3 magnitude. Last major rupture here, they believe, was 1812. So that's quite a bit, over 200 years, right, of buildup and accumulation stress on this thrust fault system. The San Cayetano fault is an east-west trending, that's what I was trying to explain there, thrust fault in Ventura County, Southern California. It stretches for about 28 miles north of the city of Ventura. Looks like last known surface rupture was less than 5,000 years ago, but they believe that this fault system may have been the source of the December 21st, 1812 earthquake, which was a 7.1 to 7.5 magnitude earthquake, creating quite a bit of damage down there in the Ventura County area. So, accumulation stress between 1.3 and 9 millimeters. That's quite a bit of buildup there for this fault system, and it's been over 200 years. So, reoccurrence intervals is uncertain. So we got to watch this area pretty closely there in Southern Cal with that, all the fault systems, I think, for the most part here in Southern California. It's just a spider web complex of fault systems, seen and unseen, and I'm sure known and unknown fault systems out here. So you just never know. Southern California is not a safe place to live for the most part when it comes to the potential for large earthquakes. The Garlock fault structure here, pretty lengthy shear fault system here north of Barstow, south of the Ridgecrest region, kind of extends over to the Mojave Desert. See a little bit of activity here to the south of this fault, right around Mojave and California City. A couple small microquakes here in the vicinity of this region. The Fremont Valley, 1.5 and a 1.7. Pretty shallow earthquake there between 2 and 4 kilometers for those earthquakes. And we talked about the activity down here in the San Jacinto fault zone. Not a whole lot taking place there in the Salton Sea region. Just a little bit of activity. Hold on a second here. Let's pop over here. What did I do with that? There we go. A little bit of activity kicking up right around the western part of the Brawley seismic zone here. One little earthquake. It looks like 1.5 at 1.6 kilometers below the surface. Little Lake, Ridgecrest region. some activity kicking up. Even here, kind of looks like it's dying down again today. Still seeing some movement up here on the creeping section of the San Andreas Fault. That's this little area up here north of the Parkfield section, up into the Bay Area, kind of where it splits over to the Calaveras Fault Zone. Seeing some further movement up here as well. A couple of small microquakes and little activity here outside of Brentwood. Zooming in shows us about 7 earthquakes here south of the Brentwood area. Looks like just for the most part microquakes, nothing over 2.0. All under 1.9 it looks like, but this is just off of, I'm trying to think which fault system this sits near. We got the Greenville fault zone over here. As far as the Brentwood area, we'd have to check that out here and see if I can bring that up here real quick. Stand by for just a second. Right outside of Brentwood. The USGS map on that page does not show every single fault system. I normally tend to go over here to the other USGS map. Kind of gives us a little bit more detailed view of the fault systems. And the area of interest is kind of within this region here. Let's see what we got here. Brentwood. Let's look at that here real quick. Brentwood. Let me zoom back up here. Kind of wanted to get an exact location where this activity was taking place. Just south of Brentwood, it looks like, on that map. So, yeah, these guys aren't even really showing anything on here. There's a couple somewhat close nearby faults. The Davis Fault, it looks like. Let's see here. And another little system over here to the east, Midland Fault Zone. But nothing specifically right there where it's kind of taking place at. Well, you know what? Take that back here. What's this? The airport. Well to the south. I'm pretty sure we're pretty close there, right? To the airport area. Actually, no, we're not. Still within the area where there's not a whole lot of fault systems on either map. So let's go ahead and check out the satellite view, see what we got going on here in this region of the state. Not for sure about fracking operations or any type of well pumping operations. Looks like I'm not for sure what these are out here. But whatever it is, kind of happening out here in this guy's fields. Maybe some row crops, maybe some rice fields out there. I'm not 100% certain, but definitely that's where the activity is kind of striking at. But pretty deep, really deep activity for this region of the state, 10 to 16 kilometers down there. So something happening off of a fault system that is not located on the USGS fault maps at all. And most of the time, this other fault system map that I use it normally shows pretty much all of the fault systems here, even the smaller ones. But something happening here, like I mentioned, just roughly around this area right here. And again, no fault system showing up there on the map. So we'll keep an eye on it. Either way, a little something going on there outside of the Bay Area. What else we got here? Northern part of the state, pretty quiet. One little earthquake here south of Mount Shasta. Man, hopefully we don't see that thing start acting up anytime soon. This one's a big volcano, a beautiful feature I can see from my home. If I look down on the horizon, of course down here in Chico, right around here where I live here in Chico, got a clear shot of Mount Shasta. And of course Mount Lassen sits over here to the northeast of the Chico area. But this volcano is just huge and massive. And it's got a lot of snow on it. Mount Shasta, beautiful volcano. Anyway, looks like just a couple miles south of the region there. A couple earthquakes down there around 9 kilometers or so. 1.6 and a 1.8 magnitude earthquake south of the Mount Shasta region near McLeod. A lot of communities in this area. All over the volcanoes. Crazy. So we'll watch this area. Mount Lassen, pretty quiet. Not a whole lot going on. The Oregon region, pretty quiet as well. Mount St. Helens here still wants to make the news. Wants to be in the update videos all the time. Here's 7 earthquakes right at the summit again. You can't get more closer to a volcano than that. Right around the area where we start to see magma and whatnot flowing 3 to 4 kilometers below the surface. We're looking at 7 earthquakes so far within the last 24 hours. We can go back here over the last 30 days, and that number will multiply to about 89 earthquakes or so. Let's go ahead and zoom in here specifically here. 85 earthquakes within the Mount St. Helens area. You can kind of see a migration here down towards the west-southwest of the Mount St. Helens area. Most of it all microquakes. I don't think we've seen anything above a 2. Yeah, most of this is all very small. A lot of it even below the 1 magnitude, but it's still earthquake activity and still something to watch very closely. We'll go ahead and check out the let's go ahead and check out the GPS system here of the Mount St. Helens area. See what we got going on in terms of uplift and movement here at Mount St. Helens. There's a lot of GPS stations all over the place, but we're going to specifically look here at the southwestern part here where we're seeing that kind of like that migration of swarming. Here's the eastward movement, kind of going down, northward movement going down as well. And this only goes to 2014. That's right. I think we looked at this the other night. We need to find something a little bit more on the recent side. This one looks a little bit better. Maybe they did something with that station. Either way, same thing. East-north graph. Here is the up vertical lift, and it looks like right around. Looks like around 2012. Isn't that when it kind of started kicking up again a little bit with seismic activity? Can't remember exactly, but there was a little bit of uptick, it looks like, or some type of error there on the graph. But over the last couple years, 2020 to 2022, we're going to have to watch this here because it's kind of showing something here. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit on this map. And it kind of looks like it's trending, a little bit of trending down, deflation, if you will. But we're going to have to come back here and check on this here in a couple days, see if these earthquakes are doing anything with that GPS station there at Mount St. Helens. Definitely keep a close eye on it for sure, because things can change in the blink of an eye, right? So moving on from Mount St. Helens area, let's go back here to the all magnitudes, stretching up here to north, Mount Rainier, pretty quiet. Seattle region, not a whole lot of earthquake activity to report here. We are seeing a little bit of movement in the northern end of the Cascadia subduction zone with a return of tremor activity in the north part. Here is yesterday's tremor map right outside of Seattle. About 46 epicenters of tremor taking place there, down dip into the Cascadia subduction zone. Overall, nothing significant happening yet along the Cascadia in terms of any surface quakes or large amounts of tremor at the moment. Getting back here to the USGS map here, Intermountain West region, trail of activity stretches up here to Yellowstone once again. Let's go ahead and check out the Yellowstone map here as we key this up. It's like 80, what do we got? 83 degrees here in California once again. Good Lord, I don't know what's going on. I'm not liking this weather. We need rain. It's going to be a bad fire season. I know I'm whining, but you know what? I have to live here for now, unfortunately. So it's kind of, it sucks. It definitely sucks. Anyway, microquakes around the Maple Creek area, it looks like, here on the map. See some movement kicking up here overnight. Early this morning, it looks like. Good handful of small microquakes kicking up. Overall, general activity here over the last week has been on the increase a little bit here throughout the Yellowstone area. Nothing significant going on, just a few microquakes on the elevated side compared to what we've seen over the last couple months or so. Some movement over here, it looks like, as well around the Parker Peak. A little bit of activity occurring. This area here to the east, we've been kind of noticing some movement kick off here towards the eastern side of the park, but can't find out where it's happening at. We know it's happening because it is showing up on other seismograph stations here, but either further from this region or much deeper underneath this area of the park. And the USGS really not showing any movement at all towards the east. These are some very small quakes here on the western part of the Yellowstone Park, but whatever's happening is somewhere over here, and then again, not being reported at all on the USGS map. Texas, Pecos, Texas, Guadalupe Peak area, White Cities, south of White Cities, New Mexico, White City, New Mexico. A couple threes kicking up here in our normal, typical region, right? Earthquake country out in Texas. Yes, we always see earthquake activity out here. At least seems it's been that way here for the past year or so, with earthquakes in that gas, oil, and fracking operational stuff out there. It's a movement up into Oklahoma once again, around the Enid area, into the gas fields outside of Medford. Seeing further movement in the, what do we got? Wakita Trend gas field up there. And down here to the south, where'd that go? Down here south of the Chickasha and the OKC area. Not for sure what's out here. Payne oil field, North Dibble oil field. Let's move on. Arkansas. Arkansas is beautiful. Believe it or not, Arkansas has a lot of beautiful scenery out there. I love all the trees and whatnot. I remember I was chasing out there last year and over throughout the south. It's just a beautiful area. I can't wait to get back out there. That'll be happening here in April pretty soon. We'll be on storm chase mode here on the channel. 1.8 at the northern end, it looks like, of the New Madrid zone. Howardville, Missouri, 7.8. Eastern part of the country, pretty quiet. Down here in the Puerto Rico area, some further movement, again, stretching out through the Puerto Rico Trench and the southwest region of Puerto Rico, with its continued ongoing swarming there in that region. South America, one little lone 4.2 at 120 kilometers into the Peru-Chile Trench. See what else we got here. South Sandwich Islands, pretty quiet in this region. Working way up north along the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Some activity there in the 5 and the 4 range. This 5.3 came in last night. A couple subsequent earthquakes on the shallow side up here to the north. Overall, things way up here pretty quiet as well. The eastern part around the Mediterranean Sea. One little earthquake out here around Turkey with a 4.1. Middle East area pretty quiet. And look at Tonga and Fiji. Very quiet in terms of recent activity. Got to watch this area pretty closely here. There's some further movement around Papua New Guinea. A couple 5s kicking up here and a little swarm of activity. And working up towards Philippines and Taiwan. Still seeing a little bit of activity up here in the north. Meanwhile, some activity in our watch area. This is kind of a watch area every day for that large quake that we're kind of waiting on here. What else? What do we have here? 4.8 and 4.5. Somewhat deep for this movement here into the trench of the Crow-Kamchatka Trench. I can normally say that pretty perfectly, but pretty perfectly? All right. I think my caffeine's kicking in pretty good. It's Friday. So a little bit of movement there. Nothing spectacular. Just some activity kicking up. And the big island of Hawaii. Some movement on the southeast flank of Mauna Loa and the Kilauea volcano area. But kind of just at a standstill at the moment there on the volcanoes. Let's see what else we got here, folks. We'll check the solar weather out real quick. I don't believe we have anything spectacular to write home about. Looks like things have diminished a little. Still a little bit of a sea flare threat. I think they forgot to drop the numbers on these. But it looks pretty much green across the board. There's some G1 storming expected, it looks like, currently. We're in that experience, or in that time frame. You can see the KP index there raising up to 5, creating a G1 storm. Looks like that should continue tonight, mellow down a little bit, and then pick up again on the 13th with continued activity there from a CME. Let's see here, February 9th, that's an older article. But a little bit of elevated activity here over the night and the next couple nights, it looks like. Sea flare activity, just about the only potential out here. Even then, it's kind of diminishing. A little bit of growing sunspot activity, but nothing really spectacular at all, folks. I mean, it is what it is. We'll go with the flow. All right, folks, enjoy your day. We'll be back out here a little bit later this evening with Missy Mimi's here on the live stream. Let's see if we can't get on, do a little chit chat tonight here on the Earthquake channel, and maybe take some questions. I think we need to have some questions and answers type of setup, right? I think that'd be kind of cool. Maybe we'll do that tonight with the update. I'm going to do it probably around, most of the time I try to do it around 6 or 7. We're going to shoot for 8 o'clock tonight, West Coast time here in California. So, 8, 9, 10, 11 would be about 11 o'clock over there Eastern. So, 8 o'clock my time here along the West Coast, California. So, all right, guys, we'll chat to you a little bit later. Watch this area pretty closely here with the well, there's not a whole lot going on here in Fiji, but this area is pretty quiet. Got to watch this quiet area pretty closely. But then again, we got swarming way up here to the north with increasing magnitudes around Taiwan. We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll do updates as needed. Until then, we will chat you guys tonight at 8 p.m. For the update and question and answer show with me and Missy Mimi's. All right, guys, have a good night or a good day. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Maybe I'll have another cup of coffee. Peace out.